is the first thing I've checked in like 20 years. 'Cause I don't trust the airlines.
You know, the best part is we all got here within 5 minutes of each other and we all took 3 different flights.
I know, I think I saw you passing me in the sky. I saw a Delta that was right next to us. Oh, that's gotta be Danny. All right, guys, we got 3 bikes in there. I'm glad they all fit. This is exactly what the truck looks like it before the grizzly bear got into it and stole everything. We are getting our bikes put together, making sure they're all still there. Bike in one piece?
Yes, thank goodness. Not my bike, so it's important that it be in one piece.
How much gear can you fit in one room? We're finding out. This cabin looked so good about an hour ago. We've been packing for hours, and it's just gonna be funny to see if we can actually be rolling down the road.
This thing flopping around like a broken limb. Dude, how is that? That's not helpful.
Yeah, dude, it'll tell us which way the wind's blowing. I have this really bad vision of me making like 10 pedal strokes and then hearing some popping noises and buckling noises, and then all my crap goes flying down the freeway like 5 minutes into it, but I don't know, we'll see.
It's been a very long day. A day that started at 4:45. Matt picked me up for the airport, but we packed up our bikes here at the gateway to Denali National Park. And we're gonna ride out tomorrow and hopefully have everything we need and not crash within the first 1 or 2 miles because our bikes are overloaded in places they shouldn't be. It's raining and that's a little discouraging, but we're gonna try and get some sleep. We've all been awake for nearly 24 hours. So it's gonna be nice to get a little rest before we get no sleep again tomorrow night because of all the prowling grizzly bears. 5:30 a.m. here in Alaska, where we are on the edge of Denali National Park to do a bike tour on the park road, the Denali Park Road. This is actually my second bike tour in Alaska. I did a bike tour here some time ago with my brother-in-law. We rode from Juneau up, took a ferry up to Haines, and then rode all the way through Canada back into Alaska to Seward, and then took the train up to Anchorage. And actually my second time in Denali National Park, I came here to do a job for someone and actually was at the park, couldn't get down the road because I hadn't won the lottery. And I did a ridge traverse right here where the road is closed to motorists. And I never put it up because the wind was so hard that there was just no audio. Today we'll be riding the Denali Park Road, 92 miles out to where it flips around. And then we'll be camping, and then the next day riding back or catching a bus. We haven't decided yet. Right now we're trying to solve Matt's flat tire problem. He woke up with a flat tire and his tire goo all over the place, which is not the way you want to wake up when you're just about to head off on a bike tour.
What?
But we're gonna try and fix his tire, get some breakfast. We spent all night till about 12 o'clock packing up our bikes. Took forever. Normally in past bike tours, I've used bike trailers, but this time they wanted to go as minimalist as possible, so we're using just bike bags. It's gonna be a long day, mosquitoes, bears, wildlife, rain, and hopefully an unobstructed view of Denali Peak. But it's good to be in Alaska. See how I feel at the end of the day.
Well, good morning. I mean, this trip is already just a series of massive successes. The airlines didn't crunch any of our bikes. They all showed up on time, all of our luggage, all of our flights were on time, 3 different flights. You know, I listened to Matt talk about Alaska for endless hours on trail runs, on every adventure we go on, it's compared to Alaska and something that Matt's done in Alaska. So finally I'll have something to share and contribute back, and I can pass on that mediocre legacy of bragging about how cool Alaska is.
Dare you?
That's all my stuff on my bag. We're ready to do this 92.5 miles into the park. It's raining. Gotta get started sometime. So here we go. Denali.
We got the bikes out of the truck without any unfortunate events. And we are at the Riley Day Use area. This is where we will start what appears to be a very wet, long day. We got a backcountry permit, which from talking to other people seems like nobody else is out here. I mean, this place when I was here 2 years ago was absolutely jam-packed, and there's like one group of people here. So the park is empty. And actually, after mile 66, Matt?
Yeah.
After mile 66, we will be the only people on the road other than the occasional park worker. It's as empty as Denali can get on an August afternoon. But we're gonna start here and instantly realize that several things need to be adjusted, tightened, taken off, removed. The next 10 miles is just adjustments. And then after that, we'll get going.
Dude, how cool is this? Came here 1 year ago. The idea of let me not take a bus with my kids. We go Dan and Christoph on bikes. And almost 1 year to the date, here we are riding.
This is shaping to be one of those outings that instead of giving us the gratifying pleasures immediately as we set out, it's kind of making us earn it.
Yeah, thank you. Off the pavement and onto the gravel. We've already seen moose and wolf. So that's enough to make me happy. But if it rains all day, that might erase the moose and wolf sightings. How many miles of gravel do we have, Matt? We should have about 75 miles of gravel. Good looking gravel. Last time I was at Denali, I got stopped right here behind me at the Savage River Bridge, and I was so bummed out. I sat in my car sulking after being told I couldn't drive down this road. And then I looked behind me and there were freaking northern lights.
Okay, we've hit the gravel. And today's shaping up to be a pretty awesome day, although we've ridden 15 miles in pretty much pouring rain. But we were prepared for that, and we're pretty optimistic that it's gonna clear up. And we're just gonna keep being optimistic.
So how awesome is this, guys? We've come in 15 miles into a 100-miler today, almost. It was dumping rain, but now it's just kind of like this overcast. We've seen 4 moose, a wolf, and now we've got a big caribou just walking across here in velvet on this open landscape. Couldn't ask, honestly, when it comes to the world of gravel bikes, this has got to be a must-do ride. We are 30 miles in and just shy of 3,000 feet of vert, so we made a good vert push, decent mileage a third of the way in. Weather is really shaping up nicely. The more we ride, the better it gets. Gonna ride another 60 miles. The grizzly bear, wolf, moose, and some amazing views. We were just joking that had it started off as really good weather and then gotten worse, we wouldn't be talking about how awesome the weather is right now, because even with this low cloud cover, it's pretty awesome.
We're debating how much, if we want to split this up and do 2/3 today and then do a bunch tomorrow, or just do the whole out today and then come back tomorrow. That's what's nice about National Park, I guess, is, you know, you can pretty much go as long or short as you want and then jump on the shuttle bus if you don't feel like it's your day.
Hey, what do you think, Christoph?
It's like Lord of the Rings out here, the Misty Mountains. Man, it is getting so good.
It's taken us an hour to get from the river down there up to what the sign says is called Polychrome Pass. We just can't get over the nature. We're having nature overload. You stop at every turn to shoot a video or take a picture. The views have really gotten spectacular, and the sun came out at just the right time.
It's like we can't even ride more than 100 yards. It's so cool up here without stopping to take more video. And you go around the corner and it's like, the view's even better.
We're here at mile 55, where there are some bathrooms and a store. Matt said that normally this place is jammed wall to wall with buses and people, but it is a strange scene with almost nobody here. There's 2 people waiting for a bus, and then there's us. You could kind of say we have the park to ourselves. Occasionally we do see a bus that passes us, and early on we saw cars, but you know, with every mile we see fewer and fewer people. Trying to figure out what to do, we spent a lot of time gawking at Mother Nature and kind of burned a lot of our daylight hours. So somewhere between here and the end of the road is where we'll camp. That's kind of what we're shooting for. Right now we're eating, reorganizing things, drying some stuff out. This is amazing. The only thing missing is the big D, Denali, sticking out somewhere in this area. I'm really looking forward to camping tonight in bear country with 0 people around.
Okay, we're animal sighting number 53 on the Denali Park Road. Matt has spidey Alaskan senses that tingle every time there's wildlife within 400 yards and we have to stop. There's no debating. It's always a stop and a watch, which I don't mind because I'm the worst person at spotting wildlife. So the only reason I've ever seen any kind of wildlife out in nature is because of Matt and Danny that pick it out for me. So one more reason, I guess, I make myself somewhat available to tag along on these outings.
Here at Isleson, where we were just offered some hot water and made hot chocolate from a person who tends this place out here in the middle of nowhere. And it was a delightful, unexpected treat. But now we have the last 20 something miles to go, and it's been raining for the past hour and a half. We've decided to see it through, get it all done. Hopefully by continuing to ride, we won't be setting up a wet tent. That's my dream, my vision. I put on all my layers too because I'm super cold.
Danny, look behind you. Rainbow. All right, we are at the very edge of where we're allowed to camp, which is pretty close to the end of the road. In the morning, we're going to ride the last couple miles out and back, just so we can buy the t-shirt and say that we did it. What a view for a campsite. We're all hoping secretly that when we wake up in the morning, Denali will be visible.
It's so close.
So close. You put mine right here. Ooh, that's rad. All right, guys, there's tent lined up on the hill. We're really hoping to see Denali in the morning. It is so close. I would say the cloud layer right now is maybe about 15,000, but it's thin. And then it could just blow off. We could see something cool. We've got bear spray on us. We're cooking 100 yards downwind of our food. And hopefully that's good enough. We're just trying to be, the bear poops here are honestly like 5 or 6 black bear poops. It looks like an elephant, like an African elephant is taking a dump. So we're on this hill, watched the beautiful sunset as we put up our tents. And then we quickly cooked our meals. Mine not so quickly, it required 20 minutes of waiting while the rice was softened. But yeah, now we're sitting in our tent. It's probably midnight. There's a little light outside, not much, but we're gonna try and get as much shut-eye as we can. And hopefully tomorrow, we'll get a small miracle and the clouds will be gone when we wake up and Denali will be visible, which is kind of the reason we came. As ridiculous as it sounds right now after watching all of that, we timed this this trip here to coincide with good weather. But the weather after we bought the tickets went from being the day with the least amount of rain to the day with the most likely chance of rain. And that chance turned out to be 100% chance. But when we wake up, we'll throw some stuff together. It will finish the small amount of mileage we have left to go to the actual end of the road. But to legally camp, we had to camp here. We couldn't go all the way.
It's 5:30 in the morning. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, I've already peeked outside my tent to see if you can see Denali. And it was totally worth it to ride through all that rain yesterday, to be on a road that's closed now, except for the bikes, and to have the mountain all to ourselves because it is the most pretty thing I've seen. It is like such a cool mountain. You've got to see this thing. That's freaking gorgeous. I would have never guessed yesterday. I was always trying to picture in my mind at what height I would think the mountain would go up to and how big it would look. And you would never guess it goes that high into the sky. I mean, it takes up a quarter of the sky, even from like 30 miles away.
Since 5:30, I've listened to Matt talk about how cool Denali looks, and eventually you got to get up and trying to heat up my clothing in my sleeping bag, even though I know it's a futile task. It'll make it a couple degrees warmer, but it definitely won't dry it out. Oh, this is the worst part of camping. Getting up on a cold morning.
Danny, have you ever seen Denali in person? What's that?
Ooh, that's quite a mountain. Dang. That's right, it's like twice as high as I thought it would be in the horizon. That's cool. Way cool. Dude, you let out my warm out.
Get out of there.
I thought it'd be bigger. Dude, that is cool. Ah, I saw it.
North America.
Maybe it's because I've
Right.
been waiting for so long
I
to get this
checked the
view
box.
that I appreciate it
Where's
the
the
most.
first
I don't
bus
know.
stop?
Been thinking about it every day for a year. Christoph just woke up and didn't even know Denali existed 24 hours ago.
Today's just going to be pleasure riding, meaning we're going to go so we can say that we rode the entire road, even though it's just a couple miles down that way. But then as far as riding back, we're just going to ride until we feel like we've gotten as much Denali as we can absorb, and then we'll jump on the bus.
I'm glad that Christoph finally got up because I really wanted him to see that mountain, but it took forever. I had to wait from 5:30 to like 7 for him to get out and have that look. There it is, you know, over 20,000 feet. And the coolest part about that 20,000 feet is it goes all the way down almost to sea level, you know, a couple thousand feet above. So it's the vertical rise is just unparalleled. It is so cool to see so much mountain. You know, if you look at Timpanogos at Utah, this is like 3 of those stacked on top of each other. The same visual.
All that riding, filming yesterday.
And I just filled a memory card.
All right, Christoph is
He looks like a wild animal.
picking blueberries for breakfast. How are they, Christoph?
So good.
Ooh, that's a tender bottom, for sure. I can feel all of yesterday's 85 miles on my butt.
All right, guys, there she is. End of the road, mile 92.5, Denali National Park and Preserve. Maybe the signs that say, congratulations, you've gotten yourself right into the middle of a mess. Now you've got to get yourself all the way out of here. It's a big climb out of here, but this is the end of the road. It was
it was a year of thinking, you know, maybe like every couple weeks I think about this, like, oh man, when the snow melts, when the weather gets good, I can ride my bike out there. It met all my wildest dreams. We waited, we were patient, we came to see Denali, and we could not have had a better view of it. And the best thing is we could have miles and miles of that view all day long.
The road unceremoniously just ends here in this little cul-de-sac. 92.5 miles. We camped just about 3 or 4 or 5 miles away last night because we didn't have a permit to camp here. But what a spectacular ride. Really, I mean, one of the best bike tours I've done. And as Matt said, we still have to turn around and go back out. It's hard to say how much riding we'll do on our way back, but we're gonna jump on our bikes and ride until we get our fill of nature. And once our nature cup spilleth over, we'll probably grab a bus. Great ride though. 92.5 miles of awesomeness in a remote place that just has everything. Animals, landscape, and North America's tallest peak. We're back at Eielson, which is where we are going to take a bus. Yes, take a bus back to our truck. Most people actually catch a bus back there where the road ends, but buses are not driving past this point. So we had to ride almost 40 miles today to go to the end of the road, then ride all the way back to Eielson. We just let Christoph go first. He's in the bus all alone. He'll probably take a nap. Plus we let Christoph go by himself on the bus so that he could have a moment of chill, because he complains that we're just always in a mad rush. And so he gets to take a nap, gets to sit at the truck and live his chill moment that he's going to need, because tomorrow and the next day are probably gonna have a lot of rushing about. Feels good to be done. And I'm actually looking forward to going on and seeing another part of Alaska and doing something cool. That's the Denali Park Road here in Alaska. Well worth the trip.